Hey everybody, Noel here. We're going to be going through a restorative yoga sequence today. So I have a timer here to keep track of how long we hold postures. We'll be spending about 3 minutes per movement and 1 minute in transition. Let's begin with just taking deep breaths, settling into our space. Resting hands on your thighs and allowing breath to enter your body as well as leave your body. Slow and methodical. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Feel the weight of your body sitting on the mat or sitting on the bolster or blanket. Notice the length of your spine. One more breath before making our transition into our first posture, which will basically be a seated butterfly position. So again, we're just going to make sure we have our props handy. I have a few blankets on hand and a bolster. So I'll use one to sit on the lip of it to give my hips a little bit of room to shift in order for me to have a comfortable shape here for the seated butterfly posture. You can use other blankets and bolsters to support your knees up as they drift off to the sides. And as you relax into it, you might find yourself continually making changes in order to make the support a little different. Bring your heels in towards your groin. Pull yourself into a more upright position here, sitting down with your knees apart. I invite you to close your eyes for most of these movements. So you notice things. You notice what's going on in your thighs, what's going on in your knees, what's going on in your ankles and your lower spine. Maybe even take that awareness into your belly. Don't worry about how long you'll be here, because again, we'll only be here for a few minutes. And I'll keep track of time. And over time, you might find yourself feeling a little different, as if things have shifted. And if so, feel free to move the blankets out of the way, move your bolsters in a different way. So you're continually engaged in the stretch, in the breath, and in your internal awareness. Breathe into what's catching your attention in your body right now. And invite more of your weight there. Notice breath, Notice body. Notice mind and spirit. Again, making your transition slowly out of the shape, little wiggles, little shakes. And for a brief period in between postures here, like I mentioned before, we'll just floss it out a little bit. And for here, we're going to be doing a lot of this internal and external rotation of the hips, with the hands behind you, rocking them back and forth, emphasizing the twist and rotation. Play around with it. Don't mind the hair. For our next shape, we'll have a similar position as in the seated butterfly stretch, but a little wider. So think about making it more of a diamond shape with your legs. Heels will be slightly apart, a few inches. And again, using blankets here to support yourself. And what I'm doing with this other blanket is I'm going to weigh down on my back to give me a sense of weight along the back edge of my spine. And we'll add another. Give me a little more weight along the back. Let it fall over you. Let it be an assistant to weigh you down if you choose to do that. And once you find a comfortable position to breathe into, really direct the breath into the backs of your ribs and into your hips and inner thighs. Hands may be placed on the feet or ankles to encourage a little more stretch along the backs of your shoulders, down into your lower spine. And just allow yourself to melt. That's the trick to a lot of yin postures. It's just allowing yourself to fall into the shape with no resistance. And this may take some time. Let it go. Whatever it is you're holding on to, or it's holding you up, breathe into the sense that you're letting it go. Think again. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And notice what that awareness does for you right now in your body. And into your mind. And into your spirit. A couple moments here before you begin to wiggle. Bring life back to it. Make your transition out of this shape really slow. Take your time to move the props out of the way. And we'll go into a reverse tabletop position here. So place your hands behind you with the fingers turned out, soles of the feet on the ground, bridging your hips up towards the ceiling. And after all that flexing, you might notice your hips are a little stiff and resistant to open up. Just concentrate on what your palms are doing on the ground and what the soles of your feet are doing. Don't worry about the extension too much. Take it one more extension up towards the ceiling. Push into your palms, push into your feet, and then lower your hips down. We'll try this one more time. Same way, pushing into the palms of the hands and soles of the feet before lowering your hips down to the blanket. Where am I? So we'll go into a sideline rotation, and we'll use our bolster for that. You can also use a sofa cushion or pillows or a stack of blankets, but you're going to let it rest along your right side. You're going to rotate. So you're opening up the left side of your body with this rotation to the right. Maybe a little extension at first, just lengthen out the front of the spine, and then let yourself roll and lay over the bolster. Using breath along the right side of your body to help encourage a little more stretch along your right side from the inside of your body. Feel your rib cage moving and expanding in relation to your inhales. Notice what this does for your shoulders, and notice what this does for your hips. Maybe even let out a sigh here with each exhale. Like a as if your body's speaking. Your body is yawning. Yawning open. Yawning into a more relaxed state of being. Notice what's happening now in your body at this moment. Breathe into that. Begin making your transition out slowly. Coming back to neutral. And in between sides, we'll just do a little rotation as we've been doing before, with both hips going side to side. And once you're ready, we'll just move the bolster over to your left hip, turning your legs to the side. So it's easy to find that side lying position, with now an emphasis along the right side of your body. Feeling breath expand along your right, lifting the ribs up towards the ceiling. And allowing them to drop and melt into the cushion, into the ground, into the mat. Into this currently relaxed state of being. Let the breath fill you up, and let the breath help you melt deeper into the mat. Notice a temptation to sigh or let out an internal vibration as you exhale. Let it go. Let whatever it is you're holding on to that's holding you back, let it go with that sigh, that sound. Let the sigh be part of your practice, part of your stretch. What do you notice now? What's different about the shape or your feeling here than how it was before? Take note of that and begin to make your transition back up slowly, moving things out of the way. Maybe taking a few more twists in your hips and your spine. Making sure there's space to lay on your back. The next position, we're going to be laying supine or on our backs, and we're going to use the bolster a little bit for our hips. You also probably want to grab a strap at this time if you don't have one already, because we'll be using that in future postures. So lift your hips up onto the bolster, right at the sacral area, that flat part of your lower spine and your hips where they meet. Letting your left leg extend and your right knee come up towards your chest. Hug your right knee in. And you may even feel like you want a little extra weight on the left side, because it has a tendency to lift with you. In this case, you may end up grabbing some blankets to help weigh it down. And why not add two? if you have it. And once you've found a comfortable shape, your hands are interlaced just below your knee joint, on top of your shin, guiding your right thigh down into your right shoulder, more towards your armpit area. So you're going to have to wiggle your hips around a little bit and bring that leg more to the outside of your right shoulder as opposed to the inside. Keep your left leg long, and wherever you're feeling sensation, sometimes it may be in your left leg, sometimes it may be in your right. Just direct your breath there. And allow it to support your ability to let go in this position. Though your arms are holding onto your leg, the idea is to let your hips relax because they're fully supported. If you need a reminder, say to yourself, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And this is a way to help encourage you to remain in the present moment with how your body is feeling right now and not letting your mind wander to the various thoughts and feelings that may come about that are unrelated to what your body is experiencing right now. Or maybe it is. Just notice what you notice now. You may notice me checking for time every now and then. That's just to make sure that we stay on track here. We can easily stay in any of these shapes for a long time. Bringing your feet underneath you with the knees bent. We'll bridge in between sets here. Help re-engage the muscles of the legs. Wake them back up after loosening them up. As a way of integrating the changes you made. So we'll do the same thing with the left knee up towards your chest. Again, I'll use blankets to help weigh my right thigh down. A couple, actually a few. Checking for time. Make sure we do about 3 minutes here. Guide the left knee in towards your left shoulder and a little over to the left so it avoids compressing your ribs and your belly. And stay long in the right thigh and hip flexors. Breathe into that area. Just imagine a long channel of breath coming in through your nostrils, flowing through your core, down through your right hip, and out through your right heel. One long line of energy going in and out, creating circulation and relaxation. Sighs are encouraged. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the weight of your mind. The weight of your breath and the weight of your spirit. The weight of the space around you. Notice what's happening now. And we'll begin to make our way out, slowly moving the blankets out of the way if you had some, bridging in between. Re-engage the hamstrings and glutes, since they were held in this light stretch. Pressing into your palms and the soles of your feet, thinking about keeping space along your back body as well as your front, so staying long on both sides before lowering down. We'll move the bolster out of the way. Now it's about time we just lay back and soak it in a little bit. Take some wiggles, feel what's different, feel what's still catching your attention before we move on to what's next. For next, what we'll need is stuff out of the way. I'll put the bolster above my head so I can use it a little bit later on. But we're going to grab our straps, spread it over your right foot on the sole of the foot, and then cross the line so the right side of the line is coming to your left hand and the left side of the line is coming to your right hand, to act as more of a stirrup for your ankle and forefoot. With the knee slightly extended, keep the hip grounded on the floor, and just encourage a little bit of lifting of the leg by pulling gently on the strap with the shoulders down on the mat. Not sitting up, let your neck relax on the floor. And if you have to bend your knee a little bit more in order to do that, go for it. Otherwise, just focus on grounding down evenly through both hips. Blankets are also good tools to have in hand here to weigh down the free leg, because it has a tendency to lift up as you go up a little bit higher into the stretch. Give that some encouragement to lengthen as well. So just as we did before with your breath, breathe into the length of your body and imagine the ends of that breath shooting through your left heel. Or if you feel like you need more along your right leg, the stretching, imagine it traveling through your hip, down through your knee, and out up towards the ceiling for your right foot. Either way, maintain slow, methodical breaths into your belly and out of your belly. Bending your knee slightly just to take some slack. You may play around with shortening the line so you can get a little more effort there in a stretch. Just working to lengthen through the back of the thigh, back of the knee, by pushing hip down into the ground and heel up towards the ceiling. Shaky is good here. So we'll spend 2 minutes for a posture here, kind of holding a similar shape for each one, still using the strap and still focusing on the length of your leg. But now we're going to go across the body, so you're going to switch the strap to your left hand and allow the leg to drift over to the left side of the room, but not so much that your spine rolls off the mat. Keep your back grounded, keep your hips grounded, and you might need to bend your knee or lower the leg a little bit to maintain that. But once you feel that sensation along the outer aspect of your thigh and your knee and maybe even into your ankle, hang out there and start tapping into your breath. Let the right hand, arm, shoulder belong to the right, so you're also getting a little bit of a stretch for your shoulder girdle and a little bit of a twist in the obliques. Breathing down the length of your outer thigh, through your knee joint, down into the sole of your foot, playing around with some micro movements, maybe even bending the right knee, just as you did with the leg straight up, and playing around with kicking it out and bending it, kicking it out and bending it. Before making the transition to the opposite hand of the strap. And now, as you may have guessed it, we're going to go to the right with our right leg. Keeping the left arm open to the left. You may even let the left hand lay on your left thigh for support. Because again, we don't want the left hip rolling up or the lower spine to roll up. So bending your right knee where you need to maintain a flat spine on the mat and neutral hips on the mat, limiting the rotation there, and just working on the inner thigh and inner leg line here. Breathing into what feels restricted. Another tool that may be useful here is a bolster or blocks or blankets, especially if your foot's not quite reaching the floor, because we want this to be a little more restorative. I'll demonstrate by sliding the bolster underneath my right leg to make sure it's well supported and I don't have to work as hard to hold the leg up to the side. And I could focus on just giving the weight of my right leg to the bolster. Give it time, give it space, give it some extra movements. So I'm bringing my left arm up above my head to encourage more stretch along the left side. Taking the leg slowly back up the center, making sure you got room to your sides. We'll eventually shift to the other leg, but before we do that, bend your knee, take the strap from the foot. Just notice what feels different. We'll bend the left knee and let the foot rest on the floor so your back's well supported now. And just play with your right leg and hip. Move it around the space above you as if you're moving your leg through water. Explore edges here with rotation, flexion, extension, abduction, adduction. giving it some movement before we go on to the other side. What feels different from right to left? Switching it up. Bring your left foot up, loop the strap around your left foot, sole of your left foot I should say, just underneath the ball of the foot, and then cross the lines so your ankle's well supported. Checking for time, getting the blanket set up. If you have blankets or quilts, something that's easy to move, it's not too fluffy but has some weight to it. And then once you're set, let your shoulders rest on the mat, let your hips rest on the mat, and begin tapping into breath. If you need some help with that, just start by saying, I am breathing in and I am breathing out to yourself. Let that inner dialogue guide what's happening in your leg and hip. Be present to what you're feeling right now. Go deeper into it. Finding joy in sensation. Finding ease in sensation. Comfort. Support. Strength, stability, and freedom. It's time to begin making a little bit of a transition, but we'll take a few moments still. At least for me, my left knee is a little tighter than my right. Bend the left knee in towards your chest, straight on. Hold the strap in place and just push that leg up against some more resistance. Feeling the shakiness. Feeling the strength of those hamstrings, and those hips, and that body of yours. And then we'll switch. Just taking the leg over to the right side a little bit. Across your body, just across the bend line, but not too much. Hold the strap with your right hand and kick the left leg over to the right, extending through the knee, but keeping the left hip down on the mat and toes flexed up towards your nose. Once you found a good shape there, breathe. Let your left arm drift off to the left. Use your breath to guide you. Another bend of the knee. Pull it in close, give it little pumps. Before taking over to the opposite side. And so I'm a little close to the wall, so I have to shift over to the right to allow my left foot to really have some space to open up and reach out into the left side of the room. Using my left hand to help hold the leg up and the right hand on the thigh for support to help ground down the right hip. Fortunately, I have the wall there to help support my foot, so I'm letting it rest there. I'm pushing my left foot into the wall. In your case, you may not have a wall, but still emphasize the push through the sole of the foot, as if you're pushing energy out through that. Let breath continue to guide the stretch. Guide your sensations. Guide your intentions. And support the present experience. Begin making your transition back to center. Bringing the right foot in, bend the knee, and let the sole of the right foot rest on the mat. Taking the strap away from your foot. And once again, once things are moved to the side, just explore the territory here with your left leg. Swim it through the space of the air above you. Where are your boundaries as far as where your leg can reach? In your hips, in your toes, in your heel, your knee, your ankle, your spine. So we'll begin our next posture here by crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. When you're rotated over to the right, to weigh it down. If that's a little uncomfortable, you can uncross the leg. And if you have blankets with you, feel free to stack them on top of your left hip in order to weigh it down. And what you'll notice what I do with the bolster in my left arm is extend it overhead and weigh the arm down. So I'm encouraging a stretch all along the left side of my body, from wrist down into my left hip, maybe even to the top of the knee. Let breath fill you up here, inhaling into your left side and exhaling for relaxation. Notice the weight of your body melting into the floor with each exhale and stretching from the inside with each inhale. Allow yourself to be here now, feeling like you feel, before making your transition out of this position. Slowly making our way back to the other side, but first in between we'll bridge our hips to help give them a little extension, a little activation, before we wiggle our way to the left with both knees, so you have external rotation occurring in the left hip, internal rotation occurring in the right hip. The emphasis is on the right side here for most people. We'll weigh it down again with blankets and maybe even our left ankle. Using something to weigh the right arm down if you want that. Again, just to increase the stretch along your right side. Letting the inhales stretch you from the inside, and exhales guide you deeper into the ground and into the mat. Begin working your way out of the shape. Take the blankets away, move your props to the side. Once you're settled, we'll take another bridge. And at the top of the bridge, maybe even wiggle your hips there, staying loose. And our next position will be pretty simple. We'll just let our knees drift open with the soles of the feet facing in towards one another, still on your back. You may use your hands underneath your hips for a little support, or use blankets as well. Let the weight of your thighs become heavier. Breathing into where you're feeling restriction or limitation. And if both sides feels a little challenging, you can also work one side at a time. by pulling your left knee up towards the ceiling and let the right thigh drift over to the right a little bit more so it's flat. And then the trick is just working your left foot over to the left so you feel more stretch along the right thigh. If you did one side at a time, maybe switch it up to the left, allowing the left hip to fall open and rest on the ground. Working the right foot over to the right. Bring it back to center, hug your knees in, give them a good squeeze. And we'll take it into a rotation. So with the knees together, allow them to fall over to the right, with your left arm over to the left, falling open. Breathing into the stretch you feel along the left side of your hips, left side of your ribs, left side of your shoulders, and maybe even into the lower spine. You may even use your right hand to help guide the legs further down to the ground, just by adding some extra weight. Let the knees come up to the center, and then we'll switch sides, letting them fall over to the left. Keeping your right arm open to the right. Now the emphasis is on the right side, with your breath and with the stretch. Allowing the breath to flow in your body and allowing it to leave. Use your exhales. Take a moment and roll back to center. We'll do one more bridge to help neutralize the hips and counter the rotations. Maybe even add a little wiggle at the top. Pressing into your palms and the soles of your feet before lowering down slowly. Preparing to set up for Shavasana, we'll bring our knees in towards our chest, give them a good squeeze, rock and roll the spine. Making sure you got space and plenty of room around you for yourself to lay out and flat on the floor. I'm using blankets for my hips and abdomen to help encourage a little more relaxation in that area. a little settling down. Find it very settling to have them there. Let your legs fall open. Toes may turn out slightly. And just lengthen through your heels. Take a few moments to lengthen through all of your joints, including the shoulders. Give them a little wiggle and lengthen through the back of your neck before settling down. And paying attention to breath. Inhaling for 1. Exhaling for 1. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. Following that pattern of counting up with your breaths all the way up to 10. And then once you get to 10, count back down from 10. So we'll be inhaling for 10, exhaling for 10, inhaling for 9, exhaling for 9. You get the idea. Focus on the counting. Focus on the breathing. Eventually letting your breath become more natural. Letting it flow in your body, your whole body. And letting it flow out of your body, your whole body. As if every pore of your skin had a passageway to your lungs. When you feel complete with this, begin making your way out slowly. First by moving any props that you had with you, and then rolling to one side. Let yourself lay on your side for a moment, feeling connected with the ground beneath you, feeling the entire surface of the ground beneath you, and how it supports your body. Notice the space above you as well, and the potential to move into it. Slowly begin to push your way back up. Let your head be heavy, like a magnet to the floor. So let the legs do the work first, and then follow with the rest of your body. Find a supportive seat. Okay, sit on blankets or bolsters or up on a chair even.
just so your lower spine and hips feel pretty comfortable. And you can find a position for your arms that feels comfortable. Play around with different mudras in your hands. Thumbs to index fingers, palms together, hands on your thighs, whatever feels connected for you. Follow your impulses in gesture. Gestures of connection to your deeper self, to others, to your body, to all the life around you, to all the life within you. Bring both hands to heart, or one hand, and let the other hand connect with the earth. Take it to both hands on the heart. Palms together. Feeling the connection between heart and hands. And comes the third eye center, allowing the light in me to honor and acknowledge the light of each of you. Namaste. Well, thank you, yogis. Thank you for coming out. Hope you enjoy your day and have enjoyed this practice. Wiggle around. Take care. See you guys.